everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Ember today with their new version of one of my personal favorite couples camping floor plans. This is their new 22 MLQ, and it falls right in that floor plan family of things like a 22 MLE Imagine, a 22 MLS Cougar. And if you don't know what those things are, what they did here is normally in this size, in this length of an RV, you might have a front bed, sometimes a Murphy, sometimes not, and you have a choice often between either sofa or dining. This manages to pack all of that together in one box, but like they went with a no Murphy bed model. This is just a 60 by 80 true queen bed, which is really cool because even the best manufacturers still typically use backbreaker death wafer mattresses. So having something where you could actually slot in like a Sleep Number or a Serta or something like that if you wanted to, that is very, very cool. Not to mention the fact that here, even in what they call their E-Series, their Essentials Edition, you actually have a larger, more powerful air conditioner we're going to get into. It still has an enclosed heated belly with tank heaters, Goodyear tires, really respectable awning space on this one. Taller ceiling as well, 6'10" from floor to ceiling panel, but very pet friendly with no, or spill friendly if you're clumsy like me, with no floor vents or carpet or anything like that. And what's also surprising is this one packs in a really good kitchen space for a small RV. Now, here in the E-Series Embers, they do not do propane ovens, so that might be an instant deal breaker for folks, and I hope you appreciate how I'll go out of my way to mention stuff like that. Instead, what they do have is a convection microwave oven that is also air fryer. They did the bathroom really well on this one, though. They learned from the initial mistake they made on their 21-foot Touring Edition that had too tight of a bathroom. This one, overall, for this size of RV, is fairly fluffy friendly. There's some things it does well, maybe a couple things it doesn't. I'm going to try to show you the good with the bad, and this is the first prototype of this model that's ever been out there. I just choked on thin air. Okay, apparently there's something in the air down here at Ember. Anyway, what I'm getting at is give us your feedback, good, bad, ugly, and in between, so they can continue to evolve and improve this line. In the meantime, let's get going before I choke again. So if you're not familiar with it, let me just advise, there are no shortage of manufacturers making this floor plan right now. If you really, really look at it, this layout's actually been in the RV industry for quite some time, but it really originated in motorized RVs, where the bed's located right now. Imagine that was, you know, the cab area where you'd sit down with like a Class C bed above, and that's kind of where this floor plan first came from. And Grand Design Imagine looked at it and said, I could make one heck of a travel trailer out of that thing. And they exploded that thing in popularity. And since then, every manufacturer and their brother is getting a piece of that pie. And there's some very good versions of it out there. Like, this overall is pretty solid. There's a couple things on this, though, I think some folks won't like. So what I'm going to do is leave you links in the video description to showcase other manufacturers who make a similar model. But also, I want to kind of talk about and zero in on the things that help make this one a little different and define it. Like right there, that no knee knocker dinette, that is very cool. I asked Ember, is there any sort of option or swaption instead of that factory dinette? And currently at the time of this filming, there is not. However, the idea that I threw at them that I think would be really, really cool, instead of a booth dinette, what if it was like one of those extended bars that I could use as like a desk, or you know, a couple chairs in front of it, a couple power outlets. Like you see my laptop sitting right there. I've been using this dinette as my little laptop warrior station, and in a pinch, yeah, that can get the job done. But for some long-term extended work, that's not anything I'm interested in doing myself. You know, that's just me though. Maybe you get along just fine at a dinette. Everyone's got different tolerances. Like a lot of builders, they are making this very pet-friendly without like heat vents in the floor and stuff like that. Over here, the theater seat, one of the neat little details on it, we'll get a peek at it later, it actually does have a wireless phone charge pad right in the middle. I'm a very big fan of like wireless charging, and frankly, wireless anything, because one time, and it happened one time in my life, but man, it really was a major inconvenience. One time, my the charger port on like my second smartphone ever, it got wore out. Well, my phone became a brick, you know, because I wore the charger port out. So anything I can do to get away from plugging stuff in and out of my phone all day makes me happy. Now they have finally updated to smart TVs, but like all your Embers, these are 12-volt TVs, which is kind of cool. Now let's do some good news, bad news. There are Some people I think, are going to say that the TV is a little small, and there are some folks who are going to say the TV is mounted up a little high. And to those points, I say fair, but there are some folks who like RVs not because of the TV. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this earlier, but there are some household outlets kind of hidden down there, right on the side of that dinette base. Now, we're going to see that this TV can pivot around. I don't know that I need the TV to pivot left or right. It might be neat to kind of be able to view from bed, but it doesn't really face the bed, so I don't think it's really great that way. Instead, I think it would be really cool if that TV swung down, if swing low, sweet chariot, if that thing came down to us, so that, yeah, maybe it might block a little bit of that campsite window when it's in use, but it'd be a little bit easier angle of attack, from the theater seat area. Now, up front, one of the nice things here is just a 60 by 80 true queen bed size. No Murphy, although Ember does have some crazy different bed arrangements, and I'd be kind of curious. Like, do you like just the true queen fixed bed? Would you like to see a Murphy bed? Would you like to see twins or a king? Or like if you had your choice and you could wave a magic wand and force a manufacturer to change some things around, would it still look the way that it looks today? I'd be curious to know what you think. Now, on the bed bases, there are some household outlets. I'm actually going to climb right on the mattress here. Why not? We're doing it live. We're going to do it Bill O'Reilly style, apparently. You actually do have household and USB plugs back there, but you also have those individual little amber-colored reading lights, and there's plenty of evidence to suggest those, kind of orangey glow lights are a little bit better at, like, not disturbing potential sleep patterns. So, like, if you wake up and need to check something, or if you have one on right before you go to bed, it's something that maybe doesn't tend to keep you awake. It allows you to go to sleep a little more easily. I don't personally, I've never seen the studies on that, but I sure hear it very consistently from all kinds of different people. So I'm willing to believe that there's a little bit of Creedence Clearwater Revival in that. Up top here, we've already kind of seen the TV. Again, it can pivot a little bit, but it doesn't really directly face toward the bed, so it's not excellent in that regard. Apologies for the extra wobbly camera work. I climbed down the bed, then realized I had to climb myself off of it. I love this, though. How many times have you heard me? If you watch me all the time, I'm saying if a dinette bench is right next to the door, use it as a shoe garage. And I stuffed my backpack down there just to give you a reference point. But you see that ember glow light that they have down there? Right above that are two things. The first of which is your outside awning light switch, so that you can reach it from outside. Of course, you can also use that control panel up there that we see on the side of the entertainment center to activate that as well. One of the other things that the awning has and the main cabin both have are dimmer switch lighting. And I'll give you a little demo of that as soon as I weave my way back around the bed here, but I don't want to go whipping the camera around and scream around. I'll tell you what, though. Look at all the lights in here. They put a lot of lighting in this thing. If you are photosensitive, by the way, the camera is about to not be your friend. You may want to look away, and I'll let you know when to look back. Okay, so first of all, ceiling lights on and off makes a heck of a difference in here. And I tell you what, it's actually more severe than the camera makes it, because my camera tries to white balance things. It tries to light balance things. So like that flickering that you saw on the lights right there, you don't see that in person. That's my camera going, oh my gosh, what do I do? And my camera's actually trying to figure stuff out on the fly until it can't anymore. And then just like you see right there, it finally realizes, oh, it's just light and bright. Now I'll turn it back on. Anyway, so there's, in case you were curious, maybe there's better cameras to do what I do. I don't know. I'm not professionally trained. I'm not formally trained on anything that I do in these videos. I'm just what I call an experienced idiot. Now we'll come back to the kitchen in a little bit here. No, well, I say that, but I continue walking straight toward it. So we're in the kitchen now, I guess. We're just going wherever this thing takes us. The power outlets. I wanted to show you where the outlets are, so that you can see this is a, an easy kind of kitchen setup to use. Now, in the back, you don't see outlets under the overhead cabinets, which I really like because this is 6'10" from floor to ceiling. which means that there's extra space between the countertop and those cabinets right there. So if they put outlets under those overheads, they would be very difficult to reach. That would be kind of problematic. Well, obviously they don't do that here. And again, apologies for my collection of stuff on the tabletop, but I guess, in a way, does it actually, let me ask you, is this helpful to give you a sense of scope and scale? So, like, you know how much space something actually occupies? I already have to carry a bunch of crap with me all the time, but when I travel like this, I have to carry more, and I can't always tuck it away in cabinets all over the place, because then I'm inclined to forget it. Geez, my laugh, I turned into Shaggy from Scooby-Doo there. Over here, I told you, household outlets on both sides, but you see that other big black box. That is there because that's your control for the inverter that's on this RV as part of the optional solar package. We're going to get into all that in just a minute. First of all, though, let's start busting open all the storage space here. Well, busting metaphorically. I don't actually want to bust anything. I love what they've done around this bed. Not only do you have drawers on both sides and nice tall hanging towers on both sides and the headboard power pockets, but a full overhead cabinet and easy lift storage below the true queen bed. And you know what? It's an open concept design. It doesn't offer privacy, but it does give you at least that curtain to give you something if someone's sleeping on the dinette, if you have a guest or whatever, or if one of you wants to stay up and watch TV and not quite bother the other partner in the house. You know, that's something that you can do there. Now, another thing to kind of note, if you like that this floor plan, but you do want some privacy, I have seen a couple builders who actually do include a privacy wall for it, like Bullet just came out with one, in case you're curious. It's called a 2220RK. In the meantime, though, the kitchen drawers in this, those are soft close, which is cool. I was a little bit surprised to see absolutely no storage under that sink, but that's because that's where they have their furnace. So it's just kind of one of those, it just sort of had to be what it is kind of things. What that means is this model does not include a great space for a wastebasket, and I don't love that, but I hope you appreciate the fact that I will, you know, go out of my way to, like, I try to move into RVs. Mentally, when I get into an RV, I try to say, okay, where would I move in? What would I put where? And a kitchen wastebasket is one of those things I don't think a lot of RV builders really plan and account for. Ember's normally very good about it, but just with the way that this one lays out, they didn't quite have the opportunity they normally would. So I guess it is what it is kind of thing, you know. Working our way back here. On the way through, I want to mention that is a cable slide. That's a Norco Exact slide, if I'm not mistaken. It is not a Schwintek nor rack and pinion kind of system. Up top here, and thankfully with a wall controller to help reach it in case you're a little more gravity friendly, in the kitchen living area, you do get one of these big XL vent fans. And as long as I'm talking about that, I'm sorry, I got to back you up. We got to talk about this air conditioner right here, because this is not your father's air conditioner. For a long time in the RV industry, you had a choice between a 13,500 and a 15,000 BTU centralized or non-ducted air conditioner. This right here is an 18,000 Furrion Vario air conditioner. And basically, what it is it can crank up to 18,000 BTUs, but it can also put out much, much less as needed, so that not only can it cool the RV in a hot day, but it can maintain that cool temperature more evenly, so you don't have those phases. A lot of RVs will have phases and cycles where it's like, ooh, the RV is like an ice box, and then it's like, ooh, the RV is a little warm, and it's constantly bouncing in between, and sometimes you have some nice comfortable periods in between, and sometimes not. Well, this is a remote controlled thing. The remote control is actually right by the entry door. If you back the video up a little bit, you'll probably be able to see it when we're looking up toward the bed. But the remote control itself basically is the thermostat. But what's neat is when you turn the air conditioner on, there's like some LED lights on it. But some people, again, are photosensitive. You can turn those lights off, but keep the air conditioner running. It's just a really smart, well thought out thing. And I'm seeing some big heavy hitters, like even some luxury stuff like Brinkley, start to adopt that air conditioner. So that is a really nice feature down here, what Ember calls their Essentials series, which makes me laugh because there's not a whole lot essential, I guess, about that. A nice big air conditioner, but it is welcome. You know what I mean? Look at this, though. The bathroom looks a little funny, but if you notice, I had some really nice space around that toilet. When they first came out with their 21 MRK touring model, the bathroom was like too tight. Like an adult my size couldn't comfortably fit into it, and they are not having that issue here, which I think is cool. They also have some decent linen storage in here, which is very nice. Big full medicine cabinet with backlighting, and although the kitchen doesn't have a wastebasket space, the bathroom does. So I never thought about this before, but let me ask you, and maybe this is reaching.
can that qualify for kitchen garbage space? It is like right next door. Certainly. I don't know. I never really thought about it before. Part of my little footprints in there, but that is a nice big rectangular shower. And with their taller ceiling, there's no question about whether you can or cannot stand in that thing without your head in the bubble. At least if you're a little over 6 foot like me, like totally flat footed, not wearing shoes like I am in this video, I'm about 6'1". But if you're a little larger than me, you should actually still be able to get along pretty well in this thing right here. And like the Black Eyed Peas, I had a feeling, but I am glad to see this thing has just monstrously excellent travel access here. There's some brands like I think Cougar's recently gone to it. Heritage Glen and Hemisphere have a version of this floor plan that is very good in its own right, but it's a big deep slide, and that does mean that it gets really tight in here for travel mode. I also forgot to showcase what I'm going to call the remote control storage down there in the base of the sofa under that little wireless charger. But there is no sideways two-step required. You can very easily walk through this thing. You can get to the refrigerator, you can get to the sink, you can get to the bathroom, you can get to basically everything in this RV in transit without so much as ever opening the slide. And what's cool about that is that also includes the dining. So for most travel mode functions, there's what I call the big three. There's nap, crap, and snack-tastic access. There's the bed, the refrigerator, and the bathroom. And this gets all those, but it also allows you to stop and actually eat in the RV because your dining seating is not located in the slide. For those who are unaware, manufacturers don't really test and check typically to see if you can use a slide while it's retracted, only when it's fully extended. So you don't have that problem here. If you do need to do an overnight stealth mode stayover, or if you pull into your campsite late and you just don't want to go to the trouble of opening everything up and making noise until the morning, or just because you're tired, you don't have to. Walk in, grab a bite to eat, lay down, easy.
One of the other things I really generally like about this model, because any builder who makes this layout, because it's not so super crazy terrible big, it's not massive and heavy and whatnot, it tends to fall into that category of half-ton towability. Now that's a very generalized descriptor. Every single truck trailer combo should be examined individually, but overall this one will work for a lot, especially late model tow package half-tons. Now over here, one of the things they did that I really like is they managed to really thread that needle on that bedside window and the baggage door with the awning arm, if you notice right there, and that allowed them to maintain a much larger awning than they otherwise would have had to. So the campsite space in this, with really only the stable steps eating up a little bit of your awning space, the campsite space on this is pretty excellent. If you look down below that baggage door, I want to direct your attention to that stabilizer. They are using the quick drop stabilizers. Actually, Ember was the first brand I ever saw that kind of debuted and prototyped those. So those things provide awesome stability, and the hype is real on those things. If you are familiar with JT Strong Arm stabilizers, they kind of basically have that built right in, which I think is very cool. Now let's talk a little bit of construction stuff. We'll go from the top down. The roof is all what I call stick built. It's all wood built, but it's also a very walkable snow load roof, and you will see in a minute these do include a roof access ladder. Your sidewalls and your floor are laminated aluminum frame construction. They are single layer Asdel, so on the sidewalls it's Asdel just below the fiberglass on the outside. For the floor, they put the Asdel layering on the bottom to help act as a bit of a better moisture barrier, effectively. Power tongue jack up front, but I mean, what RV doesn't have it? But hey, still, I guess it's good to know, you know. They also leave you a pretty traditional tongue up front, you know, where you'd be able to have your battery tray, all that. Nothing too crazy or weird there. Your spare tire, you can notice it's located kind of like, it's still belly mounted, but it's near the front of the RV, and that actually helps with a little bit of load equalization. So I think that was overall a smart decision. No, I've never found a spare tire location that everybody agrees is the best. I'd be curious, where do you prefer your spare tire? You know, hopefully you prefer it on the RV and not on the actual axles. But hey, that's just me. Now, they're very good even on this E-Series about doing a lot of slam latch doors. And if you notice, they're using a big full access door on both sides of the trailer with a nice big full pass-through. Today, we are looking at one equipped with the optional solar package. So it's either solar or nothing. It's all or nothing with these. By default, up on the roof, it's only a solar prep plug, and that's about it. What you're looking at here is the actual package, which includes that blue Victron 50 amp controller, MPPT variety, mind you. If you don't know what that means, that's basically a better, more efficient variety. And then that big gray box on the ceiling is a 2,000 watt inverter that can pretty much run about all the outlets in the RV. And 2,000 watts is going to be typically enough to run a coffee maker at a travel stop or something like that, which can be cool. Now, keep in mind, neither of those packages actually include factory batteries. So that's something that you're going to want to kind of keep in mind and make sure you get those boxes checked off. I want to set good expectations. I want you to know exactly what you're getting out of one of these things. Now, while we were talking about the solar, they will always have, no matter what, the simple little side mount solar prep plug that you're looking at right there. They will also always have prep for a full observation suite. That would be both side and rear view cameras. And they do also have a turn signal safety lighting package. And it looks a little bit goofy. It almost looks like an emergency vehicle. You know, you see those orange amber lights up top? Well, they're big and they're bulbous for a reason. They're designed to be seen. So those marker clearance lights right there, the reason there's two sets is one is just normal clearance light. One blinks with your turn signals, and you'll find extra lights on the back of the RV to do the same thing, which I think is very cool. Something else that's kind of neat is over here inside this compartment is your tank heater switch. The light will flick on, it'll glow red when it's on, but they are thermostatic tank heaters, so theoretically, you could just always leave it on. I don't know. I just wouldn't do that. I'm sure it's fine, but I would turn it on only when I need it. Just, I don't know, for like a just in case some kind of sensor went wonky or something like that. But you can't really see them. Now, the tank heaters are standard, as is the enclosed belly and the forced air heating. Something else that this is prepped for is tire pressure monitoring. Now, if a couple of these other things that you're like, well, why don't they actually include that? Well, they do on their Touring Edition, but this E-Series comes in lighter weight and thousands of dollars less for folks who maybe don't always need all of that, but maybe preferentially would like to add it. Another thing that they've been really good about with Ember is making sure it only has a single sewer outlet. This floor plan's generally good about that from almost any builder, thankfully. If you notice just in front of it, though, it does have a sewer hose caddy tube, so you don't have to worry about your black tank stuff mixing around with all the other stuff. You know, they're all separated. Kind of like that song by The Offspring, in case you feel like, you want to come out and play. If you have no idea what I'm referencing, that's okay. If you do, I think we probably have very similar taste in music, and I would like to hang out with you by a campfire and welcome you to the jungle down to your knees. Anyway, moving on. Simple docking station. I don't think this is the kind of docking station intended for like Arctic Four Seasons extreme camping. They've got more protected docking stations on some of the other series. Again, the E-Series, not necessarily intending to be the be-all, end-all for everybody, but it certainly better than nothing. You know, it is nice that it's all kind of privatized and collected in there. Now, a lot of manufacturers give you the bracket and say, yeah, we're a walkable roof. If you want to get a ladder, you can. By the way, to maintain your warranty, you need to get up on that roof and do stuff, but we're not going to give you a way to get up there. Well, it's kind of nice that Ember actually includes the ladder to get you up there. And as we saw earlier in our little floor plan and a flash, I'll take a walk on the wild side, get high on campers, and give you a quick peek back up at the roof. Again, today we are looking at one with the optional solar package. That is, again, is 400 watts, two 200 watt panels, so 400 watts total with that 2,000 watt inverter and 50 amp controller. Down below here, they don't have a full rear bumper. What they do have, though, is a handy accessory receiver hitch. I think it's 300 pound rated. What's that sticker say right there? Yes, 300 pound rated. Terrific. And in case you're wondering what those little white things were hanging down, those are your low point drains, so that when you are, getting all the water out of the tanks, that'll be the point where everything will kind of drip down. Had somebody in a Facebook group the other day absolutely freaking out that there's water leaking out of their belly, and naturally, the peanut gallery chimes in, "Oh, these manufacturers, it's junk, blah, blah, blah." Well, it turns out all it was is the person had their low point drain valves open, and the dealership that sold them the RV never told them anything about the RV. So they had no clue what it was, and they had no ability to do anything except panic. And thankfully, we were able to help them get kind of squared away. Nothing was wrong. This is also something I don't talk about enough, but I really should. Ember's 1-2-3 warranty. They say their warranty is easy as 1-2-3. So first of all, the average warranty out there in the RV industry, the vast majority of RVs have a 1-year warranty. Some also have a 3-year structural coverage, and that's become quite common. There are a rare number of RV brands that actually have a 2-year RV warranty. Some include 3-year structural, some do not. Ember includes, well, they have the 2-year warranty and the 3-year structural. Jayco's about the only other one I've ever seen that matches that. What's cool with Ember, the one part of the 1-2-3, is that it is one-time transferable to the to like a second owner, and that's a thing that isn't well documented in the RV industry. Most RV warranties are not transferable. That's one of the big reasons when you drive it off the lot, there's that initial tick of depreciation. Because yes, the second owner would be getting the physically same brand new RV, basically, but they don't get any of the warranty coverage or support or the dollars that are represented by that. Because folks, let's be real, nothing's free. If you're getting a warranty, those dollars are built into the RV. That's a thing that's real, and if you weren't aware of that, hey, there you go, now you are. And if this has been helpful, teaching you how to fish, basically, let me know. One of the other things, if you want to learn more about how these are built, I have a full Ember factory tour here, but one of my favorite things about this plant is how like the materials are warehoused and stored inside so that everything climate controls and acclimates together, and everything stays a very comfortable temperature. And whether it's summer, winter, whatever, when things are the same temperature and you don't have a lot of difference in heat expansion and contraction, my experience has been stuff just tends to hold together better because it's the same shape later as it is right now. So once again, like I said, this is the first prototype, so there might be a couple little things that tweak and change. Overall, this is going to be probably 99% accurate with the final production model, but a couple things might tweak around. What may change that, though, is your input. So please leave us some comments. Let us know what you liked and what you would change given the opportunity. Either way, and it's cool, like, if you're like, hey, sorry, Josh, no offense, but I don't like this one. That's fine. Tell us why you don't like it, and maybe either I can suggest one you might like, or they can make this one a little bit better. I'll also leave you some links in the description to check for pricing and availability on this, as well as there's almost like a dozen other builders who make a layout like this now, and I'll leave you links to as many as I can possibly think of, so you can decide which one you'd go with if your money was on the line, and why. And until next time, if you like how we keep getting you down here, getting you early access to this stuff, and, tell you the good with the bad, hit that subscribe button, like our video, and until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.